friends. We're gonna name this one today Cardio and Consciousness with your dear friend Zach. As my coworker today tried to get me to start calling this channel Zaddy the Third Eye Daddy. It's a little weird. If you don't know, I'm on a bike. You guys can't see it, but get on your cardio device, get on your treadmill, get on your bike, get on your rower, get on your stair stepper, your whatever, and let's have a fun conversation. So, comments, questions, concerns, down below. Let's make it a fun, interactive chat. I get kind of bored just pandering to you guys and pontificating. So, throw some fun comments back at me, and let's enjoy ourselves. Today's conversation is on your limitless capacity, not just as a manifester, but as a spiritual being. Now, where did this come from? I don't know. It's something that I've been pondering lately and recognizing more within myself because of the situation that happened a few months ago. Sorry, my heart rate's kicking up. Got to get the heart rate up about my situation with the stent having been placed in my coronary artery 2 months ago. And I've been just on this another random questioning journey about why things happen and all that. And so I've come to this conclusion, as I've known for the last 15 years, that you and I are limitless. That we are limitless, not just because people have said we are. How to win. Oh, type that again. I lost it. I can't see that well. Who typed that? I couldn't see. My eyesight is so bad. I need my glasses when I do this. But then I'll fog up my glasses. But we are these limitless beings. How to win and thrive in this hard world. Oh, such a good question. Oh my gosh. I totally missed your name. Sorry. Gravity, how to win and thrive in this hard world. You know, that goes back to we're still going to talk about our limitless capacity as spiritual beings in this physical incarnation, but that goes back to our other life when I referenced that Ram Dass article, or the Ram Dass video, about keeping our hearts open in hell. How do we keep our hearts open in hell? And so I think for me, particularly for me, hell was watching 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds go through cancer treatment, 7-year-olds and 9-year-olds, and then not only watching them go through it and their parents go through it and their families go through it, but then dying, right? So for me, that was what led me to this journey right now. We're having this conversation, Gravity, but how do we win and thrive in this hard world? I think you need to have these different experiential situations. I could have just said experiences. That was weird of me. Where you need to have these different experiences that help us transcend our ideas of simply our physical bodies, of our physical world. That's why I like talking to you guys and sharing my own experiences, because of my near-death experience at 14, my out-of-body experience, the first time I meditated, my second out-of-body experiences, the second time I meditated, the hundreds of quantum healing hypnosis sessions I've facilitated and had done on me. So I think that in order to win and thrive in this very, very difficult world, and because we all know like life can be very difficult, right? Is we have to have these experiences firsthand of transcendence. We need to have these experiences helping us understand, and I don't suggest you have a near-death experience, but it's not fun. But I think you need to have these experiences that help you firsthand understand yourself as beyond the body. That's why I harp on meditating in these videos. I really want everyone to meditate when they watch these videos, because that's the only way you're truly going to transcend what you see in the mirror. What I'm touching, what you guys are seeing right here, you're seeing my vessel. You You don't get to see the inner experiences that I'm having. You just get to hear the words I'm saying, how I'm trying to pump you guys up and remind you of your own inner nature, your own divinity. But we can read all the things we want, but until we go out and have that experience, it doesn't have the effect. We're not able to integrate it into our hearts and to start seeing ourselves as more than just the struggle, the lack of health, the lack of money, the loneliness, the lack of relationships, romantic and friendly, not having, right, all the missing tiles on our wall. But when we have that experience within, we recognize that those tiles were never truly missing, right? That they were just a different color. Ooh, that was good. Thanks for the question, Gravity. Those tiles were always there. They were just a different color. And so from that inward perspective, from that state of understanding ourselves as beyond our bodies, life becomes a lot more filled with grace. We begin to feel a deeper connection to something other than the people around us, right? The external world. We don't feel so isolated because we know we always have this inner counsel, you can call it, your spirit guides, God, the divine, nature itself. We begin to feel connected to things other than this loneliness that we feel. And that loneliness is the ego. And the only way to transcend the ego, right, if we're looking at how Buddha transcended the ego, it was the meditative experience. He went inward and he said, I've been causing my body suffering for 7 years, right? I've been an ascetic for 7 years, just torturing my body, trying to overcome my body. But then he had this memory of when he was a boy, and he saw that he was in the grass, and he thought of all the ants and all the little bugs that were displaced as a result of this field being planted. And he felt sad, he felt compassion for the ants, right? So he had this memory, and then he also had this memory of his father teaching him how to fish. And so the father said, Siddhartha, if you string the string too tight, it'll snap and you won't catch any fish. If you string the string too loose, it won't grab anything, you won't catch any fish. So you have to find the middle path. You have to find that just middle tension. And so Buddha went, yes, the middle tension, right? But he only found that, he only had that memory. It only got into his mind. When you complain, you make yourself a victim, leave the situation, change or accept it. Oh, this is madness. Exactly. So, yes, exactly. The complaints, the missing tiles, like we were talking about, causing ourselves this feeling of disconnection. But then Siddhartha, I'm just going to continue with that story really quick, and then we're going to come back to that, Gravity. The Siddhartha, he says, oh yes, the middle path is the way, right? I can't deprive my body because then all I'm focused on is my body, and I can't live in excess because then all I'm focused on is my body. I have to find the middle path so that I can nourish my body, and yet I can work on my spiritual evolution at the same time. My body won't be so out of whack that I can't go inward and experience the totality of who I am, spirit and form. And so then that's when he went into the boat. Ray immediately afterwards went into the Bodhi tree and said, I will not move until I experience this enlightenment. And then, voila, we know the rest of the story, where he battles the demon Mara, which is his ego, and he achieves enlightenment. But what you were talking about, that was a good one, Gravity, when we talk about our complaints, all we have is our complaints. It does make me think of the video from Ram Dass, where he says, his guru says, Ram Dass, don't you see that everything is perfect? And Ram Dass says, everything is perfect? What do you mean everything is perfect? And he says, Ram Dass, everything is perfect. And Ram Dass says, well, what about the suffering? What about the children being hurt? What about poverty? What about nobody being able to eat? What about these atrocious things that are happening? And he just looked at Ram Dass and he says, Ram Dass, everything is perfect. Everything is as it should be. And that perspective, although it's true, it does also feel impersonal, right? Because I'm just saying, oh, you're suffering, it's okay. Suffering is good. I know that I've said that many times. And it's not that it's not okay. It's just that in the midst of the experience, the suffering is our perspective of the suffering. And I'm not going to say that, like I've said before, kids going through cancer treatment, leukemia, their parents, their family, anybody going through any type of illness, severe poverty, hunger, I do not wish that upon anybody. I want everyone to thrive and be free of that. I want everyone to recognize their divine nature. I want everyone to be healed and whole and healthy and happy and joyous and abundant. And that's what I truly wish for everybody. But from my own experience, I also know that the abundance that we're looking for is here. And it starts here, right? The abundance is right here, right within us. It's the heart of the thing. It's recognizing that everything is perfect. It's recognizing that each individual, through their struggle, I'm going to extend compassion, I'm going to extend help, but you yourself must do the work, right? We each must do the work. I didn't want to go through cancer treatment for 7 years, but yet I had to go and do the work. Oh, I think Shauna might be home. That's all right. We have 20 minutes. She might come in through that door. We'll see. But I had to go through that. I had to go through those stages of deep, immense suffering. And as much as I don't like them, as much as they ravished my body and my mind, all those experiences led me to this point right now, where I've had the insight, where I've been able to go inward and recognize that each rock in my path was merely an obstacle. It was, as they say in the Life and Teachings of the Masters of the Far East, when you come to the Red Sea place in your life, when in spite of all you can do, when there is no way back, there is no way round, there is no other way but through, no God with a soul serene, and the dark and the storms are gone. God stills the winds, God stills the waves, God says to your soul, go on, go on, go on, go on. And then we marry that with what Rumi says. Is it Rumi? I looked for God in mosques and temples, but I only found him within. And so, right, the kingdom of God, the kingdom of heaven is within man. There's a lot of noise going on, either outside or outside my garage that way or inside, I don't know. We try to marry these ideas from these wise individuals who we revere, right? They were heavily, we see them as these awakened beings who have given us such insight and wisdom. And so when we try to marry all these different ideas and thoughts, we constantly keep coming back to this idea, this notion, this truth, if you will, that God, that the divine is within us. And so when we're suffering in the world, when it's hard, when it's difficult, for me it always works best to find stillness and silence inside myself. Oh man, sorry, I gotta get up and shake it, because I get and break it, get on yours. If you're on your treadmill too, shake it, all right. But it helps me coming back, end scene. It helps me to go inward, to meditate. It helps me to get away from too much technology. It helps me to play some music, rather either physically play it or listen to it in stillness. Stop trying to do and do and do and do and earn and earn and earn and earn and making the external world validate who I am. Instead, it's taking the journey inward, right? Or as Greg Braden would say, taking the 12-inch journey from the head to the heart. It's asking myself, who am I, right? And who do I want to be going forward? When I take that journey, the external world, the hardships of the external world become soft. The world begins to be my mirror. The struggles that I'm encountering don't seem to be as difficult anymore because the way I'm experiencing them is soft, because I'm giving myself grace, because I'm seeing that everything is perfect, right? Or when I see someone suffering, I have compassion for them. Oh, life is not fair. It was never. No, do not fall into the trap, the entitlement trap. You are not. Yeah, I don't think life is fair either. That's a good one. I don't know who said Matthew McConaughey or Matthew McDonald. Life is not it's not fair. It doesn't feel fair, right? It feels hard. It feels tough. It feels like it's pushing against you. And I understand that fully, right? We feel this constant barrage of the environment from around us, the people telling us we're doing something wrong, hitting on these wounds that we feel within ourselves because we feel that we're somehow not worthy. And again, when these things are showing up, when life doesn't feel fair, we have to take that journey inward and recognize it's not about feeling fair, because a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Right? A smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. I've been thinking about this for myself lately. When I die, I'm going to have a horde of angels and spiritual beings. Sorry, my finger has a thing on. When I die, I'm going to have a horde of spiritual beings and my guides awaiting me to say, my God, what a journey. My goodness, Zach, you were so resilient, even after every time something else happened. Leukemia number 1, leukemia number 2, hip dissolution, right? Heartbreak, then actual heartbreak, atrial fibrillation, clogged artery, widowmaker, 90% blockage. Each one of these, I've overcome. And each one of them, I didn't overcome by myself. I had so much help around me. Without the doctors, without the nurses, without my parents, without my brothers, my relatives, the other families involved, without the cleaning crews, without the nurse assistants, without any of these people, you may not be listening to me talk to you, pontificate to you while I'm riding this bicycle. Without this, there cannot be that. If there is this, then there is that. It's not fair. Nobody should be suffering. And yet, suffering is such a beautiful part of the story. We don't go into a bookstore and just read, well, Zach was born to loving parents. He had a great life. He was captain of the football team and basketball team. He married his high school sweetheart, Shauna. They had 2 beautiful children. Zach got a killer job. He was a professional athlete. Then he had a killer job. His parents lived till they were 90. Zach and Shauna had a perfect life. Their kids grew up healthy. He had grandkids. They grew up healthy. And then he died at 92 years old next to his wife while they were holding hands. The end. Well, that sounds like a sexy life. Sounds like a sexy life. It's easy. But you're not going to go into a bookstore and read that. No. We want the drama. We want the chaos. We want the overcoming of obstacles. We want the resiliency. We want the pride. We want the excitement. We want the liberation. We want the freedom. We want the power. And the only way we get that is through that contrast of our daily lives. When we ask God for strength, do we think that God or the divine or spirit gives us strength and says, here you go, Zach, strength? Or does he put me in situations where I'm going, all right, thanks for, dude, Gravity, I appreciate you so much. You're an awesome. Thanks for the questions you kicked butt. I appreciate you. I look forward to our next one when we can engage a little bit more, but dude, go do your thing. Love you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. But when we ask God or source or spirit for strength, do we think that we just get spirit, voila, here it is, or spirit strength, here you go, here's the strength? Or do you think we're going to get put in situations that are going to help develop strength? When we ask for faith or resiliency, do we think that spirit, God, source is going to put us in situations or just give us this resiliency and the faith? Or are we going to get put in situations that are going to help us develop resiliency and faith? the problem is that we have a hard time doing the work. I talked about this in our last live, which is kind of a bummer in our last live because I didn't get that many views, which kind of sucks. But our last live, we talked about it takes some work to make it work. Jason Mraz, right? It takes some work to make it work. It takes some good to make it hurt. It takes these complementary values, or opposite values are complementary. Without this, there cannot be that. We need both. In this dual nature of life, we have the yin and the yang, the hard and the soft, the light and the dark. This is the duality of physical existence. It is our jobs, as gravity was alluding to earlier, the hardships that we experience need to be risen above, right? That's the duality of life, of nature. When we rise above that, we recognize that everything is one, right? Ram Dass, can't you see that everything is perfect? It's all perfect. We rise above the nature of duality into recognizing that within duality, within the two sides of the coin, there is still a single coin. Right? The yin and the yang. Let me get the water bottle. The yin and the yang. Within these two dual aspects of our physical existence, we are still, but ultimately, this, right? That singular point. We are unified. Unity consciousness, if you want to call it. We are this singular identity, recognizing ourselves momentarily as split, good and bad, light and dark, happy and sad, all of that. But that is what makes the story of being human so special. That is what makes the journey of being human so special, because that contrast causes expansion, and that expansion happens in our inner beings, that is our soul. Source itself expands in proportion to the contrast that we experience. Every situation, contrastingly, that you've had has led your soul, has led your inner being for more, to growth. And your soul, your inner being, is now drawing you in, calling you forward, saying, come this way. This is the path. And the only reason that you are not living the life that you want so dearly is because you are resisting it with the thoughts and the beliefs that you hold right here. And that's okay, because you now have the opportunity to change those thoughts and those beliefs one by one by one. Even though beliefs are very hard to change, they seem to be ingrained deeply within us. How do I change a belief, Zach? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you change a belief? One bite at a time. One thought at a time is how you change a belief. This is what makes us limitless. This is what gives us this infinite capacity to affect our external reality, is that we have the ability to change the repetitive thoughts in our minds. All it takes is awareness. It takes awareness. And so that's why I keep coming back to meditation and harping on meditation. When we meditate, we gain the ability to be more aware, to recognize our emotions more intimately, to get clear about them, and to get clear indication of the thoughts that are causing the emotion. I can tell you right now how beautiful, smart, divine, how perfect you are. And that feels better. Why? Because that's in alignment with your inner being. Or I can tell you how bad, dumb, ugly, worthless you are. And that immediately feels bad, because that is in disconnection. That is in resistance to your inner being. It's further away from your inner being. So I just said 4 words to you and made you go here or there. You have an even stronger capacity to do that, but it takes effort. This is where we have to practice a little bit of effort. Or we can practice a little bit of Wu Wei and incorporate effortless action. When we begin to meditate, it's effortless action. I am sitting there, I am in stillness, and yet I have to put in a little bit of effort, right? But it's still, I can then just sit there and be. And when I sit there and be and I'm aware, awareness is that effortless action. Awareness is the Wu Wei that we're seeking. When I have conscious awareness of where I am right now in this moment, accepting this moment in its fullness, in its totality, and I say, yes, and then this too, whichever way it is, good, bad, in between, I say, yes, this too. This is part of the journey. This is what we've been talking about in our live videos for the last 5 videos. Yes, and this too is part of the journey. This experience that I am now loving, I will allow this. Yes, this experience that I'm hating, I will allow this. Right? Equanimity of mind, equanimity, the steady state of mind, not letting the experiences of life, the external reality, sway you, throw you around like an ocean while you're on this little boat. Even though a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor, in that experience, when the ocean is throwing you around and you made it through, you can say, look how good of a sailor I am. Look how strong I am. Look how resilient I am. Look how compassionate I am. Look how faithful I am. Look how loving I am now. And it's all because of that experience. Yes, there may be some pain. There may be some scars, maybe some bumps and bruises. You may have slashed open your arm, and it's gonna hurt for a while. But it's now allowed you to be a better sailor of life. You know, like we don't want to experience hardships. I do not want anyone to experience suffering. That's the reason I get on these videos with you guys, to share some hopeful insight, maybe some wisdom that touches your heart. And if it doesn't, leave it be, toss it away. You know, it is what it is. But hopefully it touches some area of your heart where you go, yes, I am limitless. I am an extension of that which we call God, of source energy, of the universe, of nature. I am limitless as spirit is limitless. I am limitless as God is limitless. I've been given the same beautiful tools, the same beautiful gifts that my Creator has. And so, as an extension of that Creator, I'm going to go forth, I'm going to become very conscious and deliberate, and I'm going to give my gift. I'm going to share this with the world. I'm going to go and create what it is that my heart truly calls for. For me, that's sharing this stuff with you guys, because I want you to have that. Because I want you to feel the peace and the joy and the bliss of every moment. As Buddha said, we suffer not because we have to, but because we forget, we disregard the bliss and joy that is within every moment. Every moment contains something of blissful and joyful nature. Every moment contains something to be grateful for. We're about to reach Thanksgiving. 2 days it's Thanksgiving. Gratitude is the way. Love is the way. Right? Every moment we have something to be joyful and blissful about. I have so much to be joyful and blissful about because my heart 2 months ago would have been throbbing and squeezed like somebody was strangling my heart with their nails in my heart. And now I can talk to you guys with a little breathlessness, but it doesn't have any pain. I'm so grateful for this beautiful heart and for these beautiful coronary arteries that are completely open and free and healing perfectly. I'm so grateful for the legs that are down here that are working on this bike. I'm so grateful that I have this beautiful phone. I'm so grateful that you guys are here with me. This is the moment. This is all I've got. This is all you've got. I'm grateful for you taking the time to watch, to get up to this point where you feel that you've received something. And we just hit our 30 minutes, but I'm gonna keep going with it. But I'm so grateful for you guys. And I want you to take that time to recognize the limitless capacity within you You were born to make, as Marianne Williamson, you were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within you. It is within everyone. Right? You were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within you. You were born to make manifest the glory of Spirit, the essence of Spirit that is within you. You have this limitless capacity to make a difference in your lives and the lives of others. Whichever one you choose, all is well. I do both. I like to change my life, and I like to hopefully affect yours in a positive way. But find that gratitude within yourself in each moment. I'm so grateful that I have feet to walk on. I'm so grateful that I have eyes to see. I'm so grateful that I have a beating heart that works in perfect rhythm. I'm so grateful for the lungs that extract oxygen, deliver it to my muscles, to my brain, and bring it back to my heart for that cycle to continue again. I'm so grateful for my partner, my loved ones. I'm so grateful that I have food in my fridge, a job. I'm so grateful that I have money in my bank account. I'm so grateful that I have a car, or the ability to walk or ride a bicycle. There's always something to be grateful for. There's always joy and bliss in every moment. And so our journeys as limitless extensions of source energy, it's to remember that, it's to practice that, right? That's why we talked about meditation earlier. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Take 20 minutes minimum a day to close your eyes, put a timer on, and feel your breath moving in through your nose, into your lungs, and out. And just be with your breath. Be present, be still right now. There's so much going right in your life. There is so much going right in your body. Gain awareness of that, and then have that beautiful image of what it is that you'd like, how you'd like to see things change in your life. And then let go, surrender, and look for the results that are about to show up, because they will. It just takes a little time. There's a time gap in this reality. It takes a little time. You are limitless. I hope this video helped you. Let's do 10 more seconds. I love you guys so much. Gravity, thank you so much for watching this video. Gravity was the person commenting. He was awesome. He helped me out so much. He helped direct this conversation. You guys always help. That's why I appreciate your feedback. And until our next video, my friends, be well. I love you. You are worthy, right? You are safe, you are loved, you are protected, and you are worthy. That is the counsel of Ascended Masters promise through me to you. That's what they told me, and that's for you to remember. You are safe, you are loved, you are protected, and you are worthy. Always and forever. Just remind yourself of that. Meditate on it, and be well, my friends. Love fearlessly and love freely. Talk to you guys next time. Bye.